This feels very strange to hear.
I am ready to be done with this movie.
For the rest of my life, yeah.
This is our third time recording this episode.
We have tried so hard and failed so fully.
But technical issues will never beat us because we are patriots.
That is right. The Patriots.
And this is Trash Talk Thursday.
TTT, baby.
You're listening to Quiet in the Back,
That's right.
our Thursday pod where we just watch B movies and trash them, all the low budget and fun action stuff that is never going to make it to the Monday pod.
No, of course not. Especially this movie. What movie did we watch today?
Well, The Patriot,
Yeah.
not Mel Gibson and
No.
Heath Ledger.
No.
Don't think that.
No, very different movie. The Patriot might be on our other podcast someday.
That movie was in the year 2000. This one is 1998, so it actually came first.
Yeah.
So Mel Gibson did steal his idea from this movie.
Pretty revolutionary, pretty groundbreaking.
Starring Steven Seagal. This is a pretty low point Steven Seagal. His peak was like 1992. By 98, he's doing straight to VHS.
Or DVD.
Was there a DVD in 98?
Yeah, straight to DVD is what it said.
I'm picturing a VHS, but either way, it did not hit theaters.
No. And it also had a $35 million budget.
And a $0 gross domestic.
Well, that brings us to another point that we need to make. This was just 1,000% a Russian money laundering front.
Yeah, there's good evidence that shows Steven Seagal was in bed with the Russian mob, and most of his career he's making movies to launder Russian mafia money.
That's the Patriot right there. He's top tier Patriot.
He's a Russian patriot.
Yeah, he is.
He's been working with Vladimir Putin since the early 2000s. He is a Russian citizen. He did attend Vladimir Putin's secret inauguration.
Do you think he's been questioned by the FBI and the CIA and stuff?
Probably, which is why he lives in Moscow.
Does he really?
He's fully converted from American to Russian. Russian. He was born, I think, in Michigan, which did not stop him from becoming a sheriff in Louisiana and arresting people on drug charges, speaking with a ghetto Southern accent. Damn, boy, y'all really hid the crack in this oven mitt.
Oh, did you now?
Y'all boys ain't playing. Stop, Steven.
Steven will never stop. Steven's an unstoppable force.
Much like his character in The Patriot,
Very fucking true. Very true.
the nation's leading immunologist,
He's kind of a virus guy, you know?
kind of an expert when it comes to germs. He retired from his position at the Department of Defense.
Oh, he's also Native American. This is
yeah.
very important.
Ooh, I didn't want to touch on that, but
It's here.
you guys are going to need to know that Steven Seagal, a white Italian-American actor, did play a Native American in this movie.
Crushed it, dude.
I think because he has like the black hair that he thought he could pull that off.
And he moved to Montana. He got a ranch up in Montana. It was like, wow, got to connect with its people.
Yeah, he started cosplaying right away. Worse than Justin Timberlake.
Oh,
Worse than who's the other dude that lives in Paradise Valley?
I don't know.
John Mayer. Yeah, Justin Timberlake and John Mayer don't have shit on Steven Seagal when it comes to cosplaying Montana.
True.
Moving here after you get rich, you buy a big acreage farm, pretend you're a rancher. Or in this case, pretend you're a man of a different ethnicity.
Yeah, and that you are a top of the country immunologist.
The number one immunologist in America.
And you've got to fight neo-Nazis. This is important.
These are homegrown terrorists, domestic terrorists, Montana boys,
Old boys, yeah.
cattle country, cornbread.
They care about their guns. Let's see, what else do they care about?
Well, they
Pretty
care
sure
about
it's
the
just-
Constitution, but only insofar as it allows them to have sawed-off shotguns. That's the
Truth.
only specific thing they show in the movie.
Yeah, our main protagonist, or our main antagonist, he saws off his shotgun on video and sends it to the local Montana Ennis judge.
He sends it straight to the judge. It's a video of him antagonizing the ATF
Yeah, yep.
by sawing his shotgun off and quoting the Constitution and saying, the federal government has no right to take this from me.
That's true.
My
They're
land,
taking my jobs, my rules.
So he's just a general constitutionalist who does not like the federal government. He does live on the property right next door to Steven Seagal,
Yeah.
Native American
Steven
immunologist who
Renowned.
who retired from the DoD to do like local herbal medicine for the poor residents of his county around Ennis. He trades medical services for wood shopping skills and Damascus
Sort of a
knives.
barter thing, you know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's barter.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it. He's sort of like a folk hero to these people.
Definitely.
Little old granny comes in and trades him a Damascus knife for cancer research.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So he's got a good thing going. He's raising his daughter. A lot of bad jokes.
Yeah.
Lack of charisma.
Yeah. Oh, this whole movie, the acting, filmography, like every single aspect that you could touch on
Yeah.
is terrible.
Let's run through the list.
Yeah.
The sound.
Yeah, bad.
Awful. The music. Awful.
Lighting.
Lighting. There was one light.
Yeah, there was one light.
I think this entire production team had a single light, which
They
is less
used
than
it
I use
sometimes.
to make our podcast. They sometimes used it to light one character in the scene, or like 1.5. A lot of shadows.
Do we go writing yet?
Yeah, writing sucks. The story is bad.
Directing, bad.
Shots bad.
All of it. Yep.
Acting horrible. Casting abysmal.
Yep. Sad.
He's not a Native American man.
Sad casting.
There's plenty of Native Americans you could have cast to play this role.
No, it's got to be Steve.
I wonder if he just like bought, because his production company was one of the ones that produced this movie. It says it in the credits. I wonder if he just bought the script and forced his way in.
Probably. Who knows?
It's probably a Steven Seagal power move.
Maybe he wrote the whole thing.
No, it's based on a book called The Last Canadian.
Yeah, right.
They adapted it into Montana.
Yeah, right. That book came out in '99. Prove it.
Prove it. Disinformation campaign led by Vladimir Putin.
I knew it.
So yeah, this movie is ass, but here's the plot. The constitutional domestic terrorist intentionally releases a major virus. I don't know how they got that virus.
Doesn't
Stole it.
matter. They stole it.
He ingests it into himself and then turns himself into the judge.
Yeah.
Spits on the judge, thus creating a cascade of infections that can not be undone.
It's an epidemic. The entire town becomes infected in minutes.
They lock down Ennis. No way in, no way out. And everyone starts getting sick, except for Steven Seagal and his daughter.
Because they have magic.
Magic Native American blood that
Yeah.
can't be infected with
Yeah,
viruses.
at least that's what they allude to until they find out it's just from the herbs and flowers they've been taking.
The reality is that their grandpa, his father, has these red flowers that he brews into tea, which they call affectionately red medicine.
Yeah, good name, good choice.
Feels racist.
It sure does.
Only because of the context of Steven Seagal. Feels very racist, red medicine. But anyways, they have this herbal flower that somehow just is the exact compound that like defeats this virus. Just happens to be grown like only around Ennis.
Man, the entire plot of this movie is so taxing.
It's so
crazy.
stupid. Trying to understand it and follow it.
It's
so dumb.
just a bummer to watch. To be honest with you.
So the terrorists find out through blood samples, because Stephen was called in to the hospital to work on this as the nation's lead immunologist.
Of course.
He takes some samples, including one of his daughter, and they see this weird sample. Wait, it's not infected. It's exposed, but it's not infected. They track it down to his daughter, and now they know the cure lies with this bloodline. They
Yes.
think so.
Yes.
They need to like harvest her blood to create a cure.
Yeah.
So now the movie becomes like a cat and mouse game of terrorists chasing Steven Seagal and family around Ennis, Montana. Sounds more fun than it is.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be a good time to watch. It was not.
There's like a total of 2 fun scenes. One including a stick of dynamite that gets lobbed into a Jeep and blows up.
Yeah, real Looney
That's
Tunes-esque.
Yeah, very Wile E. Coyote.
Oh, yeah.
The other being Steven Seagal snaps the stem off of a wine glass and stabs it through the temple of our antagonist.
Yeah, that is sad. That's just because it's satisfying
That's
to
pretty
watch a
fun.
Nazi die. That's
Yeah.
the only reason.
And it's just like a unique death. I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever seen a wine glass stem used that way. So
It flicks off the top of the wine glass.
that's what I want in my action movies. Just like creative death and destruction.
Yeah, yeah.
That's better than like white men playing native men in Hollywood movies.
You're
that make
asking
no
too
money.
much. You're asking too much, Patrick.
But that's neither here nor there. We're going to move past it, just like Steven Seagal and the ethics committee did, apparently.
There was no ethics committee.
So, I mean, there's nothing else to break down in this plot. Steven Seagal wins.
Yeah, he does a good job. He's the leading immunologist.
He kills all the terrorists.
Yeah.
They cure the entire town of Ennis by airdropping the petals of these flowers from helicopters onto the streets.
And telling these sick people to make tea.
Yeah, they don't actually like synthesize the cure and deliver it
No.
in a sophisticated way.
No, they had a couple 1,000 pounds of confetti, and they were like, let's drop it from these helicopters we rented.
Just dump them in the streets. So like, everyone make some tea from this and you'll be cured. And then they just leave. And they just take for granted that the citizens did that.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. This is a 1 out of 10, bro. This is I mean, approaching
Yeah.
0. I have nothing positive to say about this movie.
You gave Crank a 4, but
Yeah,
after
that's gotta
seeing this,
go.
are you raising that?
Yeah, it's up to a 6.
Yeah.
I'll happily give
Crank is at
a
least
6.
pleasurable to watch.
It is. It was entertaining. It was fun. It was like clearly trying to be too much the whole time, and I
it was like
appreciate
presenting
that.
itself sort of as an absurd comedy.
Yeah.
So in that context, it being kind of bad is like
Yeah.
actually like weighs in on the joke.
Yeah.
This movie, objectively bad. 1 out of 10.
I mean, just the lowest possible rating we can
Highly racist.
get. Yeah.
And just like every category that you could try to score it in is bad.
It's a
It
zero.
didn't do anything well. Every single time that Steven Seagal tries to like interact with like a flower or an herb,
Yeah.
the music, the like composer plays like Native American flute music. Like so one-dimensional their understanding of like Native, and I'm no like expert at all.
Yeah.
But I would not make this movie either.
It gets worse too. They chant.
They do the chanting, like the really stereotypical, like, ay, 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 ay,
yeah.
but they add like a lot of reverb to it and
Yeah.
put it in the background as Steven Seagal is like thinking about solutions and like working on a computer.
Bro.
It'll be like him like intently looking at a computer with like
Hacking.
Indian chanting.
He
like,
hacks one time to Indian chanting, and like that's
outrageous,
top.
dude.
That is top bad. Not a top G.
can't believe it, dude. So this movie was made only to launder Russian mafia money.
Yeah.
That much is clear.
Heard it here first on Trash Talk Thursday.
Trash Talk Thursdays, a subsidiary of Quiet in the Back.
That's right.
Do you have anything else to say about
Absolutely
this wonderful movie?
0 things else to say.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you all for tuning in to this beautiful movie. Do watch it
Yeah.
if you hate yourself.